You good?
Yep.
All right. It's good to see everyone here tonight. We'll call the meeting to order. Like I said, I appreciate everyone being here. First thing we do in our meetings, pledge allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, the way we do this for anyone that hasn't been here, I believe most people have been here. At the end of the meeting, after we conducted business, we have a place for public comments. So if you would have any comments, then reserve them till the end. We'll give you time to speak. We start with the department reports. First one's a police report. Council, do you have a copy of the police report in your packet? Any questions? Chief Ferguson's here if there's any questions.
Notice there's several houses in town that need yards to be mowed. I mean, several.
Yeah, if you get over to your code enforcement portion of this, you'll see where we've addressed at least 3 of them already. And yeah, you're right, there's another 1 or 2 we have not addressed that will be this week addressed. But we're working with, I think, 3 or 4 in their recs right now. We give them a little while to get them done. There are several, I'm gonna say 6 or 7 that I know of, driving around. Ed's gonna be in here tomorrow, I think, and we'll get together on that. But you're correct.
I just was doing that.
That's all right. We're good. That's all right. We got it over with now. We don't have to worry about it. Anything on police report? All good? All right, we'll move on to code enforcement. Like Greg said, there's several yards that are addressing. We've contacted several of them. We have a few more to go. Is there also in the reports you'll see where we move forward with some of the properties that are in a bad state of repair that are becoming safety and health hazards. So.
Down here on Maple Street at 216 Maple, there's also a car that's illegal parked.
What?
Car that's illegal parked in the front.
216. I sent an email to Ed.
I don't know who enforces that part of it.
Is it on the street or?
It's on the sidewalk.
No, not there.
Anything else? Code enforcement or police from the council? All right, that brings us to the fire department. I think things are going pretty good down there. They've been working some more, I think, on some of their equipment and getting lists together, doing some things, end of year stuff. They had their hose, what they call it, Jeff, the hose.
Testing.
Yeah, testing, hose testing. Got that, and I think they found a couple that were not in compliance, but most were, thank goodness, we wanted to follow those fire hose. So, but the trucks are up in good shape. I think they've got some more small maintenance. I think that Jay mentioned, the fire chief mentioned that he was going to work on. But other than that, I think things are going good at the fire department.
I guess it don't matter to bring it on the fire department. Over there at Ronnie Cameras, covered under Maple Street, when that flooding was going on, we worked there, me and Tony, he's on the fire department, I don't know what his last name is. We worked there for about an hour trying to get a water pump through that. And I was wondering, could the fire department go over and blow that culvert out, maybe clean it out? I don't know. It seemed like once the water got so high, it went on through. I know there's a drainage elevation issue there, but I didn't know. Of course, that grading was where you can't get there and see if it's a blockage.
Right.
I was wondering if maybe.
We could try to run, probably take the sewer plant jetter over there.
Okay.
And jet it out of there. It pulls it out a lot better than the front.
Just see, if you get it cleaned out, if there is a blockage, like I said, I know there's an elevation issue there, but if there's a blockage in there, maybe get it cleaned out where it will flow better. I don't know.
That one's dead level, you know, there's no drop. And
Yeah.
when the railroad ditch gets to a certain level,
Yeah.
then it won't flow
They
anymore.
kind of equal out.
But you're right, it won't take anything to go over there and check it. Anything else, on the fire department? All right, water and sewer, working on putting new water lines, a lot of the guys are maintenance as well, putting new water lines in the park. The old lines were running underneath actual ball fields, and there were a tremendous amount of leaks that we've had to dig up and repair out in the middle of the ball fields and stuff. So this year, we just decided we would reroute all of them and be done with it. We're almost done with that project. It's gonna be a lot better, the pressure's gonna be a lot better, and all the concessions and the hydrants and different things. It'll work a lot better. We've got all new lines now, with PEX lines, so it'll be a lot more efficient and work a lot better for us. And then, over at the sewer department, things are going well over the sewer plant. They've done a little bit of organizational work over there, back in the shed, in different places, so it's looking good. And then the water itself seems to be doing well. Kyle and Kelly have done a good job keeping it caught up. So. And we've been receiving applications, so we'll move forward with that quickly as possible.
I've got something on the sewer part of it. Back there behind Ron McKee's, he said there's a lift station back there at floods, when we had all the flooding, and there's a lot of stuff that comes up there behind his house and Kyle's. He was wondering, he said used to Southern States or Smith Douglas line, I don't remember which one, we used to bring a line truck out and it spread. He was wondering if that's something that could be done to, I guess there's a smell back there. I can smell things, I don't know.
I couldn't smell anything after about a week when it went down. I could before that, but not after about a week. But the denatured lime, they call it denatured, I don't know why. It's a special kind of lime, but more of a powder than it is that granular stuff. Yeah. But it's what we've spread in the past, and we usually wait till it dries up, back there because it stays so wet. But what we used in the past was actually an old farm implement that was a wheat drill, an old fashioned that just was a drop spreader, basically. You've seen them, yeah. Like a little long thing. We've used that in the past, but ours is rusted out and no good anymore. But maybe I could find someone that would do it for us.
He asked me if we could get something like that done, maybe keep because his grandkids, great grandkids, whatever, they play back there. There's a lot of stuff back there they would be in.
I'll write that down before I forget it. All right. Is there anything else on that, on water and sewer from the council? Streets and sidewalks. Everything's looking pretty good so far. We've got some pothole repair that will be happening in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and then Scotty's got a couple of places they'll fix. Then those parking areas we talked about down at the park, get those done. Right off of Amanda Gordon there, where the dog park is, and then right up from that. And then some of the park streets, actually this last 2 floods this spring, the times that went underwater, kind of did them in this time in a lot of places. So we're having to make some patching down there on that road, kind of circles around the park. So do some patching there. So we've got areas there that we need to repair.
We're doing blacktop over there on Lakey, that little section you cut out.
Yeah, that little section.
I guess those trucks went back down through there, breaking it off.
Yeah, and there's a couple other streets that we're looking at for next year too, to try to, let's do the same thing, Jeff, on the edges. It's kind of getting rough. Some of them have been waiting on till they got them built out. Like, there needs to be a little more work done over on Roosevelt again. But I don't want to do it till they get the rest of the houses built out, not so much traffic over there. So.
I have a comment on the sidewalks. We've got some overgrowth. I do a lot of walking in this town, enjoy the sidewalks, and we've got some trees that are growing over
The sidewalks.
over the sidewalk, and actually in the road too, that you have to really duck down. Actually, Well, I had knocked a bird's nest out today, picking my kids up from school, so I don't know if that's, on the city to.
Well, usually the trees, of course, are on the property owners, but when they approach on the sidewalks, we usually try to trim those limbs.
Measured old overgrowth on the streets, and,
We
it's
usually,
an easy fix, but I just.
we usually try to trim those limbs that are on the sidewalk. Most property owners just take care of it, but there's some that they won't, they're not gonna do that.
I think they're rare or something, so they don't feel obligated. It's about 4 foot, you gotta dump to get down the sidewalk. All I got to say, so.
Mayor, right there on, Peterson Avenue, with those four houses being built. Right there on Peterson Avenue is where they have built, 3 or 4 homes there. And the mud is washing off in the street.
Where is
It
that,
was
man?
right there on Peterson, where the new house has been built.
On Peterson?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And, the mud is running out in the street. Is there no way he can put plastic down or some kind of battery to keep the mud from coming out of the street? I've had about 2 or 3. Well, everybody goes through that day.
I was actually gonna bring it up, because somebody asked me about it today.
I mean, and it's gonna continue. They ask every time it rains. I guess it's because the cars get dirty and nasty. But it does, it's a muddy place or a muddy spot, maybe 20, 30 feet. And the mud just runs off the bank here right into the road. And maybe it's because they didn't ditch out real good or something, but it does come to the street now.
We'll probably need to address it there too, because it's gonna be an issue on Main Street, because they're starting to grade those lots up as well, so that one's gonna be going over the other way as well, so I'll talk to the developer to get them to take care of it.
It might not be so bad when they plant something there, one, like,
Well, now it's down into the ditch part where he bulldozed and the mud runs down the street, just runs straight down the street, right, over on Hill Street, you know, that old line that does that.
They just hauled in a bunch of fill dirt up from Peterson, and it's not rolled down or anything, and it's smooth, so when it rains, yeah, some of the ditches away.
I don't think the ditch line's been put back exactly right there either, so, that hurts it as well.
So the mud part filled
Scotty's got that 24-inch black barrier, we could get some of that, or
Well, I'll just talk to the developer, they should be,
they should be responsible.
they should be responsible.
and it's every time frames too that people ask for that.
Yeah.
And I figured this is one of the meetings to say something about it.
I appreciate it.
Another thing on the street, the sidewalks, is there a fine for parking on sidewalks?
I don't know if there's a fine, it is against our ordinance, but I don't remember if there's a penalty. Of course, we put penalties in that ordinance, didn't we?
This falls into the sidewalk ordinance.
We might have to go around and start making people aware that that's not what they're supposed to be doing. And, we used to have to enforce it quite a bit, and people got accustomed to not doing it, right? But then those houses are sold, and other people move in, and then some of them are rental units, and other people move in there, and they don't know it, so we probably need to start making people aware that that's an issue.
Up here at the school the other day, they was having some kind of a function, and I know parking is a freezer, but it was a pickup. He pulled up on the sidewalk, and I went over to the house, and I come back over to the shop, come back from through there, and it was a ton truck and 4 more pickup trucks sitting on the sidewalk. So,
They're right in front of the school,
right there on Hill Street, you know, when you turn, go down Hill Street, right on that sidewalk,
pulled right off on
pulled up on the sidewalk, and he's all parked there, some big ton truck, and 3 or 4 other pickup trucks.
it. We may have to start getting out and trying to let people know, write some warnings, I guess, first, but let people know that's unacceptable. It breaks our sidewalks down, I mean, it tears them all to pieces. Anyone else have anything on sidewalks, council? All right, that brings us to the park. Already touched on a little bit of what we're doing right now. Next week, we're trying to get ahead of it, but next week is the spring days they have, I forget what they call them at the school, but all the students come down, they celebrate, you know, the school year, the end of the school year, they come down, they spend activities down at the park. 2 or 3 days next week, so we're trying to get ahead of that and get our mess cleaned up before we've been putting those water lines in. By the end of the week, we should have it looking pretty good, pavilion cleaned up. Kevin White's putting a new lighting inside the pavilion, working on that this week as well. And so we're starting to get some of that work done on that new side of the electrical service that we put in. Does anyone else have anything on the park? All right, that brings us to tourism, and I'll ask Councilman Ron Sullivan to catch us up on that, please.
The upcoming events that we have for this month is the Frog Popping Contest, it's May 31st at 11 a.m. And that will be at the pavilion by the creek, what they call the medium pavilion. You have to bring your own frog. It's for all ages, there's 4 different age groups. So, the Maria last year, we had an 84-year-old lady that participated in it, so everybody has a good time. The first 50 gets ice cream, so we encourage, like I said, everybody to come, it's fun. And then next month, we'll start our Concert on the Square series with the Ernie Smalls Band. We've never had them before, they're a new band coming to town. And it will be, like I said, the second Saturday, starting at 7 p.m. that evening.
Ernie Smalls.
Ernie Smalls Band.
Good thing. All right. Anything else, questions on the tourism?
Is that in June?
Yes, June 14th.
Do totals qualify for the frog hopping contest?
Yes. Our
Got
slide
2 of them in
meeting,
my backyard, we're chasing around.
You gotta bring your own frog.
and the small ones tend to hop faster than the large.
They do. Been trying to catch this one for about a week.
It's be wild west, bring your own frog. All right, anything else on tourism?
That's it.
Thank you, Ron. In economic development, I guess the only thing I have is I think we talked about this last week at our workshop, council budget workshop. Elizabeth did send, I told you guys we got the survey done, property out here. She sent the survey and all the closing documents to UK last Thursday. And so we're waiting on a response from them. We haven't had a response yet, but we will pretty quick. And we'll get that closed now, move on. Anyone have any questions on that, council? All right, senior center, there's a report in your packet. Everything's going pretty good. I don't know if anyone got a chance to see our senior center 2 times in the last month or so. Have been featured on Channel 5, the morning show there on Channel 5, whatever that show's called. But my mother was really proud. She was in one of those groups that got a photo on there saying,
Good morning, sunshine.
yeah, good morning, sunshine. Yeah, it was pretty neat. I thought it's pretty nice that they were featured on there and had a big picture and a video of them. I thought it was pretty nice. I wanted to let you know that Sarah's been very active and doing things to promote the activities down there.
They had Derby Day last week. I think it was last week. Or the week before. They had a pretty good turnout for that. And, you know, if you've ever been to the carnivals where you had those little balls and you roll them into the holes and it can move 1, 2, or 3 spots, they built something outside in the parking lot and they had to roll dice. And we had different heats and they dressed up nice for Derby Day and they won the games or played the games. And, they had, like I said, good turnout, more than what they normally have, and everybody seemed to have a good time. And they want to do more things like that, so just watch the Facebook page, and hopefully they're going to add more activities so it interests more people.
Anything else from the council on the senior center? All good? Brings us to the cemetery. I think Laura's got a report in here. Things are looking good, getting the spring weeds knocked down, all those wild onions and everything else growing up out there. But anyway, the grass is actually starting to grow now, so it's looking pretty good. And Aaron's got it all knocked down nice. Hopefully we'll be moving forward before too long on the new addition, getting that done, and then they're doing some mapping. Nick Hines, who works for us and doing his internship on the side, he's doing some mapping with Laura, and I think it's in your package. Is it section 5 y'all been working on?
5 is on paper and 6 we have started gridding off.
Anyway, we're doing some mapping there, and then, of course, the new section's already mapped out and has GIS coordinates. But this is for the old part of the cemetery. We're trying to get it prepared where we can have a GIS map. So it's pretty exciting to go from the cardboard boxes we got right now with a little map drawn out on it that we received, and then to go to having an electronically generated GIS mapping for every lot, for every plot. So Laura and her team's doing a good job on that. Laura Delworth back there is our cemetery administrator, so she's doing a great job. It hasn't been a very easy task. I'm not gonna tell you a story there. It's not been an easy task, but she's done a fantastic job. Thank you, Laura. Done a good job.
I like to say too, Aaron Coleman does a good job at it.
He does.
We got some people in Albany. You satisfied with them, you satisfied with anybody. But we've had,
He keeps it nice.
people talk to you and stuff like that. And I told Aaron the other day that we appreciate him from the city, the chamber.
Period.
Aaron don't want us to talk about it, but he takes a lot of pride in what he does out there. He wouldn't want us to talk about it, but I will.
Yeah.
He takes a lot of pride. He goes back a long way in his family, doing things at that cemetery. Yeah, that's right. Does a lot, and he takes a lot of pride in it. Now, he's so quiet, he won't say anything about it.
He's back.
Yeah, he's just so quiet,
Oh, stop it, man. I think maybe it's like-
I only get paid once or twice a year.
You got the floor, say something.
Anyone else got anything on the cemetery?
Is there anybody in the building?
I'm sorry?
Anybody in the building, period? Same thing?
I don't hear very well, I'm sorry.
You have to wait till the end of their meeting, comment.
Just, yeah, sorry, I'm sorry. Okay.
There's, anything else on the cemetery from council?
Shouldn't be.
I'm sorry?
Shouldn't be, as long as they buried and didn't. There should be,
Shouldn't be.
Yeah, it
Should
should be,
be,
as long as
yeah.
they're buried and everybody's going there.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, it
That's
should
exactly
be about
right.
that.
Yeah,
A
everybody's
lot
happy.
of what's going on right now, a lot of the wells will be worked out right now.
We get less complaints out there from
Good.
anywhere
That
else in
should,
the city.
that should happen.
This is-
In general, there should be no complaint there, I guess.
Yeah. All right, that brings us to the minutes. The minutes of the April 14th, 2025 regular meeting. The council's had an opportunity to look at those minutes. I entertain a motion to accept.
Motion to accept them.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Give the motion to Jack and the second to Claude.
There you go.
Paul Tisdale,
Yes, ma'am.
Peggy Thomas,
Yes.
Rex Evans,
I'll stay over here.
sir. Travis Fuller,
Hey,
Jeff Gregory,
Yes.
Ronnie Sullivan.
Yes.
All right, that brings us to the minutes of the May 7th, 2025 budget workshop from the council. If you've had a chance to look at those minutes, entertain a motion to accept.
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is any discussion? Hearing none, roll.
yes,
I'm sorry.
yes, discussion.
Okay.
I would just like to, if there's any way we could work on not spending as much, if any way,
Well, now this is just for the minutes of the meeting.
all of them, excuse me, I'm sorry.
This is just for the minutes of the meeting. So where'd you get to on roll call?
I did.
We're good. So is the roll call completed?
No.
It's not.
Start.
Roll call, please. Yeah.
Paul Tisdale,
Yes, ma'am.
Peggy Thomas,
Yes.
Rex Evans,
Yes.
Travis Fuller,
Yes.
Jeff Gregory,
Yes.
Ronnie Sullivan.
Yes.
All right, that brings us to the financial report, from our city clerk, Maggie Hines.
Alrighty, so for our April general fund revenues month to date, we were at $232,683.87. Year to date, $2,367,331.47, making 116.34% of our budget. Citywide month to date, April, $239,490.74. Year to date, $3,378,348.57, making 153.28% of our budget. Water sewer month to date, $116,128.63. Year to date, $1,355,682.75, making 90.07% of our budget. Expenses for April on the general fund, $139,613.06. Year to date, $2,477,327.05, leaving a budget remaining at $79,591.50. Citywide, month to date, $144,368.02. Year to date, $2,504,843.24, leaving a budget remaining of $228,925.31. On water sewer, month to date, $139,364.66. Year to date, $1,491,474.11, leaving a budget remaining of $256,454.56. Our cash balances at the end of April for our city accounts were at $3,080,995.88. Water sewer accounts $1,361,392.77, for a grand total of $4,442,388.65.
All right, any questions from council on that? That brings us to the bills payable. If the council's had an opportunity to look at the bills payable, entertain a motion to accept those.
Make a motion, accept the bill.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on that? All right, roll call, please, Ms. Hines.
Bautista,
Yes, ma'am.
Megan Thomas,
Yes.
Rex Evans,
Yes.
Travis Fuller,
Yes.
Jeff Gregory,
Yes.
Rhonda Sullivan.
Yes.
All right, that brings us to the ordinances. We have three. The 2025-01 Cannabis Business Regulations, second reading.
Y'all bear with me, this is a lot of words. It's several pages long.
Which is drink of water, please.
Yeah.
I want to get cotton mouth.
It's the worst. City of Auburn, Kentucky, ordinance 2025-01, an ordinance relating to the allowance of cannabis business operations within the city of Auburn, Kentucky. Whereas on April 15, 2024, the Kentucky General Assembly passed 2024 House Bill 829, signed into law by Governor Andy Beshear on April 17, 2024, that amends KRS Chapter 218B, which codifies the statutes governing the Kentucky Cannabis Program. Whereas the resolution passed by the majority vote of the Auburn City Council on July 8, 2024, the council approved of the question of prohibiting cannabis businesses from operating within the city limits of Auburn, Kentucky, to be submitted to the voters of the city of Auburn. Whereas the result of the question being presented to the voters of the city of Auburn resulted in the majority being in favor of cannabis businesses operating within the city of Auburn, Kentucky. Whereas the city of Auburn hereby wishes to utilize the authority granted to it by KRS 218B.130 to allow and additionally regulate cannabis business operations within the city limits of Auburn. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of Auburn, Kentucky as follows. 1. General provisions. A. The definitions within KRS 218B.010 are hereby adopted as if fully rewritten herein. B. Cannabis business operations are authorized to be conducted within the city only during the hours between 6 a.m. and midnight prevailing time, Monday through Saturday, except that no operations may be conducted on Christmas. Cannabis business operations may only be conducted on Sundays between the hours of 1 p.m. and midnight prevailing time. C. C, no signs referring to the use of cannabis directly or indirectly visible from the outside shall be permitted, except as any such reference may be contained in the name of the business establishment. No flashing lights or neon lamps shall be used to illuminate signs unless approved by the sign committee, and all regulations regarding signs shall apply to cannabis business operations. 2, licensing. No person, form, or corporation shall do any act authorized by this ordinance with respect to medical cannabis business operation unless that person, firm, or corporation holds a license issued from the city of Auburn authorizing such. B, the following types of medical cannabis business licenses may be issued by the city, and the initial license application fees and license renewal fees for each license shall be as follows. For a processor license, the initial license application fee is $1,000. The license renewal fee is $2,500. For a producer license, initial license application fee is $1,000, and the license renewal fee will be $2,500. For a dispensary license, the initial fee will be $500, and the renewal fee will be $1,000. For a safety compliance facility, the initial license fee will be $500, and the renewal fee will be $1,000. C, applications for the issuance or renewal of all licenses provided for in this ordinance shall be made to the city's agency administrator, who shall be the individual responsible for issuing any licensing under this ordinance. All applications shall include a complete copy of the application and all supporting documentation submitted for the corresponding state license, together with all other information as may be requested by the city of Auburn. All license fees collected under this ordinance shall be paid to and collected by the city clerk. C, no license issued pursuant to this ordinance shall be granted or renewed to any person or entity unless that person or entity first applies for and obtains an occupational business license from the city. Any applicant for a license under this ordinance shall present a valid occupational license issued by the city with its application for a license under this ordinance. Failure to hold a valid occupational license shall be grounds for denial of a license under this ordinance. Furthermore, if a licensee's occupational license expires and is not immediately renewed at any time during the license period, the license issued for medical cannabis business operations may be subject to revocation or suspension. E, no license issued pursuant to this ordinance shall be granted or renewed to any person or entity who is delinquent in the payment of property taxes, both real and personal, and any other taxes due to the city, fees of any type, or charges due to any department of the city at the time of the issuing of the license. Nor may any license be granted or renewed to sell upon any premises or property owned and occupied by the licensee upon which there are any of the above delinquent payments due and owing to the city. Further, if a licensee becomes delinquent in the payment of any of the above at any time during the license period, the license issued for the medical cannabis business operations may be subject to revocation or suspension. F, all licenses under this ordinance shall be valid for a period of no more than a year. All licenses shall expire on June 30th of each year. G, any license issued under this ordinance is required to be posted and at all times displayed in a conspicuous place in the room or principal room where the medical cannabis business operation is carried on, so that all persons visiting the place may readily see the license. H, no license provided for hereunder shall be issued, renewed, or transferred to any person, firm, or corporation until the person, firm, or corporation has obtained the issuance, renewal, or transfer of the state license corresponding thereto. The license premises covered by the city license must be the same as the license premises covered by the corresponding state license. I, the city license issued to any person, firm, or corporation shall remain valid only so long as the state license corresponding thereto issued to the person, firm, or corporation shall be valid. Any revocation, suspension, non-renewal, or other action which makes the state license null and void shall operate to revoke, suspend, make non-renewable, and thereby make null and void the city license corresponding thereto for the same period of time. J, any license issued pursuant to this ordinance may be revoked or suspended if the licensee violates any provision of this ordinance or any provision of any state law or statute, law, or regulation related to medical cannabis business operations. 3, location. A, no cannabis business operation shall be located within 300 feet of any elementary or secondary school, daycare center, as defined by KRS 199.894. church, public park, or playground. The 300 feet distance shall be measured from the main entrance door of the cannabis business operation location. B, any cannabis processor, producer, dispensary, or safety compliance facility within the city of Auburn may only be located in a commercial business zoning district or an industrial zoning district. No cannabis cultivator of any tier shall be permitted within the city of Auburn. 4, penalty. A, any person, firm, or corporation who directly or indirectly violates any provision of this ordinance shall be guilty of a misdemeanor, and for the first offense be fined not less than $100 nor more than $200, or be imprisoned for not more than 6 months or both. For the second and each subsequent offense violations shall be fined not less than $200 nor more than $500, or imprisoned for not more than 12 months or both. The penalties provided for in this section shall be in addition to the right of the city to revoke or suspend the vendor's license. 5. The provisions of this ordinance are severable. If any sentence, clause, or part of this ordinance or the application thereof to any particular state or case is for any reason found to be unconstitutional, illegal, or invalid, such unconstitutionality, illegality, or invalidity shall not affect or repeal any of the remaining provisions, sentences, clauses, or sections or part of this ordinance, it being the legislative intent of this body to ordain and enact each other. 6. All ordinances or part of ordinances in conflict herewith now in effect, to the extent that conflict are hereby repealed. 7. This ordinance shall become effective upon passage and publication as required by law. And then I'll require
This is the first reading,
this is the second.
second reading, so it would, I think you've all had time to go through this for the last several months anyway, so I guess we'll entertain a motion to accept this ordinance, to enact this ordinance.
I make a motion to accept the ordinance.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call please, Ms. Hyde.
Hutchinson,
Yes, ma'am.
Peggy Thomas,
Yes.
Rex Evans,
Yes.
Travis Fuller,
Yes.
Jeff Gregory,
Yes.
Ronnie Sullivan.
Yes.
All right, that brings us to the 2025-02, amending fiscal year 2024-2025 budget, first reading. Ms. Hyde, if you would, please. You got your breath back?
Yeah. City of Auburn, Kentucky, ordinance 2025-02, an ordinance amending the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2024, and ending June 30th, 2025, by estimating revenues and appropriation. Whereas an annual budget amendment proposal and message have been prepared and delivered to the legislative body for review and modification. Therefore, be ordained by the City of Auburn, Kentucky, Section 1, that the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2024, and ending June 30, 2025, is hereby amended as follows. I'm just going to read the amended values. I'm not going to read the original values. So under the general fund, fund balance carried forward, $2,183,132. Estimated revenues for property taxes, $313,011. Licenses and fees, $626,603. Intergovernmental revenues, $30,294. Franchise tax, $35,700. Interest, $34,342. Land lease and surplus sales, $4,429. Insurance tax, $187,819. Nothing under charges for services. Miscellaneous, $858,425. Dividends, $2,782. Rental income, $23,246. Loan proceeds, grants and donations, $362,483. Total estimated revenues, $2,479,134. Total resources available for appropriation, $4,662,266. Under appropriations for the general government, $635,045. Police, $101,646. Fire, $70,649. Streets, $671,868. Public health and civic, $74,895. Parks and Recreation, $134,506, nothing under note payment. Total appropriations, $1,688,609. Excess resources under appropriations, $2,973,657, for ending fund balance of $2,973,657. Under the road aid fund, our fund balance carried forward $54,080. Under intergovernmental revenues, $24,629. Interest, $319. Down to total estimated revenues, $24,948. Total resources available for appropriation, $79,028. Appropriations were 0. So our extra resources over under appropriations was $79,028. Ending fund balance is $79,028. Under our water sewer fund balance carried forward $1,485,979. Licenses and fees, $25,743. Interest, $2,746. Charges for services, $1,472,603. Loan proceeds, grants, and donations, $155,856. Total estimated revenues, $1,356,948. Total resources available for appropriation, $2,842,927. Down under appropriations, public health and civic, $1,244,055. For total appropriations, $1,513,776. Extra resources, $1,329,151. For ending fund balance of $1,329,151. Section 2, that this ordinance shall be in effect upon 2 readings of publication. First reading May 12th, 2025, and second reading on June 9th, 2025.
All right, thank you. That's the first reading, so there's no action necessary.
Oh, I did forget to read the note payment of $269,721, but that one was not amended.
I had a question on that too. On that water and sewage, remember we talked in the meeting, do we do the administrative cost for the water and sewage?
Administrative cost?
Yeah, we do that, then we get a
Yes.
percentage of it.
Yes.
What percentage is it to the city?
5.
5%?
Yes.
So it'd be 5% of the 1 million,
Of just the sanitation.
just the sanitation?
Yes. Just what we collect for Scotland's, we keep 5%.
We receive that for doing the billing for billing the customers.
The only one that we're gonna do is like, Atmos, and people don't do that, we don't do nothing. I know we don't take anything.
All right. That brings us to the 2025-03 fiscal year 2025-2026 budget, first reading. Ms. Hines, you catch your breath back again?
City of Auburn, Kentucky ordinance number 2025-03, an ordinance adopting the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2026 by estimating revenue and appropriation. Whereas an annual budget adopting proposal and message have been prepared and delivered to the legislative body for review and modification, therefore be ordained by the City of Auburn, Kentucky. Section 1, that the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2026 is hereby adopted as follows. Resources available for the general fund, a fund balance carried forward of $2,859,598. Estimated revenues under property taxes, $313,600. Licenses and fees, $597,450. Intergovernmental revenues, $33,000. Franchise tax, $34,500. Interest, $38,370. Land lease and surplus sales, $2,000. Insurance tax, $190,000. No charges for services. Miscellaneous, $60,000. Dividends, $2,500. Rental income, $26,700. Loan proceeds, grants, and donations, $12,000. Total estimated revenues, $1,310,120. Total resources available for appropriation, $4,169,718. Under appropriations, general government, $1,031,612. Police, $283,501. Fire, $76,511. Streets, $332,604. Public health and civic, $101,700. Parks and recreation, $235,132. No payment. Total appropriations, excess resources over and under appropriations, $2,108,658, for an ending fund balances at the end of the fiscal year of $2,108,658. Moving over to the road aid fund, our fund balance carried forward $79,027, intergovernmental revenues $31,000, interest $250, for a total estimated revenue of $31,250. Total resources available for appropriation $110,277. Streets, $60,000, for a total of also $60,000. Excess resources over or under $50,277, for an ending fund balance of $50,277. Moving over to water and sewer fund, fund balance carried forward $1,370,027. Licenses and fees $35,000. Interest $2,600. Charges for services $1,316,950. Loan proceeds, grants and donations $450,000. Total estimated revenues of $1,804,550, for a total resources available for appropriation of $3,174,577. Public health and civic $1,849,348. A note payment of $319,995. Total appropriations $2,169,343. Excess resources over or under appropriations $1,005,234. An ending fund balance of $1,005,234. Section 2, that this ordinance shall be in effect July 1, 2025, and after 2 readings and publication. First reading being today, May 12, 2025, second reading and passage June 9, 2025.
All right. Those are both first readings and don't require any further action from the council at this time. I think the only changes that were made was the additional $10,000 that we put in. One clerical change for a couple of grand, whatever, something.
Yes, there was, actually, these were all the actuals. I don't think we changed this one except for that extra $10,000 on the fire department reserve. The actuals we changed, there was one $3,500 grant that the fire department received that I did not include in that total, so that was added. And those were the only things.
So it's the same as it was at the workshop, except for those 2 changes.
Some really minor changes. Heather and I just wanted to go over it one more time.
I'm sorry?
There was a big change, then the ones with the extra zeros, whatever.
Yes, no, that's what we did correct.
Yeah, that's the clerical error there.
Under the park salaries, we did that one fix from $440,000 to $40,000.
That's the clerical error they fixed.
Yeah.
What I was talking about.
Okay, let's try to stay at the speed.
Yeah. All right, that brings us to resolutions, which we have none. Municipal orders, which we have none. New business. Is there any new business that the council would like to bring up at this time? All right, hearing none. It is time for public comments. Anyone would like to speak? If you're gonna speak, would you please write your name down? Okay.
I did.
And the only reason we do that is to keep our minutes straight. That's the only reason.
I think you have to click the little button in the middle there.
There it is.
Hello. Should I go and introduce myself or not?
Please.
On this spot.
Hello, my name is Daniel Shelton. And I'm just gonna say, I already got the site at the park. That's literally, other than the equipment, all people come to the park.
You can pick that up if you want to. It's not attached.
The ducks at the park, excuse me. Where are the ducks at?
The ducks?
Yes, ma'am.
The animal killer.
There's no way they're ducks. Literally birds next to like,
There's wild,
Charlie's, yeah.
it's the first time. Really? A group of them, I feel like that's hard to do. They literally can do anything, they can fly and they can swim.
I can't, you'll be your hand off the microphone, I'm sorry.
But I've just been wondering where the ducks are because there's not a lot of people that park.
I mean, we bought ducks last year and fed them, and, they were either get killed by the coyotes, or somebody can take them, or they disappeared.
We've got a couple of neighbors' dogs too
I find
that
it,
have developed a taste for ducks.
yeah, I find it hard to believe.
And then we've got a fox den that was over there, and I didn't know the difference
Yeah, I
with
still don't. find it
how
hard
they
to
kill
believe.
them.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe because they've lived here for like, what, 50 years, and then all of a sudden they're gone for the rest of concerning?
One of the park operators actually purchased a set of the ducks out of her own money and put them down there. I raise ducks and they don't, I mean,
we buy
possums,
them.
weasels, anything will kill them. I tried to catch the last one that was down there. I could not catch her on the last day. I came back the next day to try and catch her to save her and put her out on my pond and she was gone.
The eggs that they lie in, the kids get the eggs and smash them.
It sounds like there's too many people close to the park to destroy the ducks. Seems like it. They're made for water, not people, so I mean, like, maybe people should just not.
Not go to the park.
Well, just don't feed them everything where they're so aggressive to where they want to attack people. That's why literally there's a sign that says don't feed the ducks.
We fed them duck food, we bought duck food for them.
Like they should just, if they want it, just don't feed them bread and chicken.
So we're still putting our garden.
Is there some live traps or something?
That actually, as long as you protect the ducks, they'll live. Just don't domesticate them like we do cats and dogs, because otherwise they'll get too cozy where they don't know how to live outside. And that's just wrong, because I go there to feed the ducks and
What do you
there's
want
ducks
to
there.
say?
Please, because there's no way at the park anymore, because other than equipment files are there, because anybody can walk on the track and walk on the street.
I mean, I miss the ducks too, I'm not gonna lie.
I really do, because anybody can walk, excuse my language, anybody can walk in a track because there's a road anywhere, but people come here, I used to come here just literally down the street for the ducks, and I literally lived there for like 10.
And we had all kinds of them,
Yeah.
and they disappeared.
Yeah, we have the prettiest animals that walk across here. Deer is gone, we had ducks and squirrels, now there's no ducks, so we gotta look forward to these little creatures.
She had some, we had an employee that bought some, I went and got some donated.
Yeah, we just need to stop feeding them just food that we eat so they don't try to go everywhere.
I mean, it doesn't matter if we feed them or not, they chase them down and they kill them.
I feel like that's a safe environment for them to live. Just not try to feed them too much for the ducks to like want to go everywhere. Sorry. I love them, so just keep the ducks safe. I love the birds and whatever, so just keep the animals safe, including the turtles too. So don't take turtles if they can. That's all.
Thank you.
That's the first time we heard that.
I really like them. They like it here. And
Everyone pretty much like them, I think.
Yeah, they like it here. It's the only place I know that they say it.
I wish we could control that a little bit better, but the neighbors, we can't control what they're doing.
They feed them Cheetos and then they go anywhere where the Cheetos at.
Yeah. And the ducks are kind of an easy target there in that creek, you know? Pretty easy target. Does anyone else in the community have anything? Yes, sir.
Yeah. Jared, what are you doing, Rex? Call?
Yes, I know.
I was on that. Okay, 128 Grove Street. The gas company cut a sidewalk. It's not been cut up yet. That is a safety hazard. Who's gonna do that? The gas company or City Hall?
You're talking
There's a
about,
hole there.
you're talking,
Oh, here.
Yeah, over
you're talking about the sidewalk where the cut a sewer line through there.
Yeah, it's been covered.
Yeah.
It's been, they've done, license and everything fast, everything just not gonna go.
That
So
contract.
you walk down that street, you trip on that, who's gonna be a part of that? They are, or City Hall?
The contractor should be here in the next
Now,
2 weeks.
address that with Rex already.
The contractor should be here in the next 2 weeks to address that.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we'll get some gravel in that hole. I noticed it
It's
yesterday.
like that deep?
I noticed it yesterday.
Yeah.
What he had piled up there settled all the way down now. There isn't nothing there now.
Ain't nothing there.
Yeah. So,
From
we'll get
last
some.
year, ever since last year, 2024, there's been nothing there. Because I lived on 126. And also, my yard flood. I understand the City of Auburn has got a ditch behind that they call Road. Y'all used to clean that ditch, you just don't know. So now when it comes a flood, I get 3 foot water in my backyard.
Now, the city that I know of, and I'll check, but the city has no easements or right of ways or ditches.
I've been there 2 years, every neighbor I've got tells me y'all used to clean it, but you don't no more. So when y'all did clean it, it did not flood. and now it does.
I'll get a look at it, it's behind your house, and your address is
126.
126.
Yeah. And you name my guy. They tell you, last year when it flooded, I had 3 foot of water in my backyard. I've tried to raise the garden the last 2 years. I cannot do it because it flooded.
All right, we'll get a look at it, and we'll get some gravel on that sidewalk tomorrow.
Whatever y'all wanna do, I'm just let you know, it's safety act.
Well, the contractor, I'll be honest with you, Abaco is the contractor. They do a great job. They're a small company, but it's a reason they do a great job for us. They're a small company, right?
I understand.
But that gentleman has had some health issues, and we've been trying to help him. He did some
I
projects
understand
for
that
us.
too, I understand, because I've had health issues. But
I'm not gonna wait on that.
the fact of the
Look at
matter
it.
is, somebody chooses the balls on that, who gets sued? City of Auburn or they?
Well, that'd be up to the courts, I guess. I don't know.
I guess it would.
But you're right, let's prevent it before it happens. How about that?
Right. And I've had, actually, when the gas company come through there and put the new gas lines in, I've literally talked them into digging my sewer line out. The culvert I've got in my driveway, and digging it out so my driveway would not flood. Because the culvert did not drain. So it would drain over in my backyard. And go on the street, most of my backyard. So I talked to the gas company to dig it out. They did dig it out, right in my culvert, which, you know, they did not do that. It belongs to the City of Auburn. They shouldn't do that.
What's that now? What belongs to us?
No, the cover, the driveway cover.
Yeah.
The City of Auburn owns that driveway, yeah. You know, the big crack, they own it.
Okay.
So I'm actually asking them to come out and dig it out. They did. So now my backyard don't flood from the cover to the backyard.
Good.
And I've asked the guys who was on the golf course to do it, and they said he needs the mayor. Never got done. I missed the race, it never got done.
Well,
But I did mention the gas company, they did it for me.
I will get some gravel on the sidewalk tomorrow, and I'll check on any easements or anything we have back behind.
Don't y'all own the sidewalk?
I'm sorry.
Don't y'all own the sidewalk?
We only maintain the sidewalk. Sometimes it goes over on other people's property, but we only maintain it.
There's a lot of spots on the sidewalk, it does not get covered because it's broken up and, you know, a pure hazard.
Well, that's the one you're talking about the same spot we're gonna put gravel in the ball, right?
Yeah, like 50 feet up from it, it's broken.
Okay. Not a different spot, but the same.
No, 50 feet up from 128 is a broke sidewalk that needs to be addressed. Because if somebody walks through there, if you're broken, they fall and break their leg,
Yeah.
who's gonna be at fault of that?
Yeah.
And not gonna be me, not gonna be you,
Yeah.
somebody did fault at it.
Well,
I
we'll
don't
get
want
that.
my hurt.
Yeah. We'll get that taken care of tomorrow.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Does anyone else have anything in the public comments? Yes, sir, Brian.
Brian Preston, y'all know me. When we come in here, can you guys have the packets available that you guys are reading and discussing? Like all your city reports from like the current meeting, like today and the previous meeting?
I'm not sure we can generate all that. I mean, if you want those.
Well, I
packets,
mean, you
can do
got
it.
it, like y'all got the.
You can do it
packets.
off the record request.
You have, like, each one of you have a packet right now of what you're reading, what you're looking at.
This is not a formal document until it's accepted.
But then what do we know that you're looking at? Like, you're passing stuff, you're reading over the notes, and you're saying yes or no. Why can't you offer that to your constituents?
When they are an approved document by the council, then they're a matter of public record. And you can ask them anyone. You can ask them anyone.
That's just the only city I've ever been to where they don't offer those documents.
And you can ask any one of them after the public record. That's kind of the reason we put the financial report where Maggie reads it, so she gets the headings and the numbers, put that in there where she can kind of give like the general.
It's one of those, like, it wasn't the department reports, like, the police code, fire, water, sewer, street, sidewalks, park, tourism. Like, you're all saying yes or no, but like, you're not discussing the items in it. It's just, do 6 of you agree for 1,700 people? It's, what are you looking at though? Like, we should have that, even if it's not approved, we should still be able to view that.
And you can request those documents at any time, after they've been
It's what's
approved by
approved.
council.
Yeah, well, we can see it.
But they don't, whatever they're looking at, it's a yes or no to.
Y'all were seeing the same thing that we did.
Don't we put on the screen, that's what going through the packet?
It's
Not enough.
still not a matter of open record. We got the agenda up there.
No, like let's say you talk about the police department, those records, you ask them to approve it.
Yes,
But what are you guys saying yes or no to? Like, we should have that.
You can,
Before,
you can get,
before,
you
not
can get that
after.
after it's done. Yes.
Not like after, like, we should be able to view what you're looking at.
Beforehand.
True. That's how we know. Y'all not
You
lying.
can get those documents anytime afterwards, but they're not public records. We can't issue them out as public records.
So we don't have access to any of that.
But you can request.
Until
those
after it's
anytime.
approved.
Yeah, that's not really fair. If you can't have access to look at that, don't really seem
Ahead of
fair.
time.
It is fair because you voted for them to,
Who voted?
you did, you voted, you're a registered voter, you voted for them to say yes or no on your
Oh,
behalf.
that's not necessarily the case.
It's not.
I may
Yes,
not have
that's what
voted
the
for
Everybody
them.
voted for different
You voted for
parties.
the council.
Majority voted yes. I agree.
Wait a minute,
Majority
wait a
voted
minute.
yes.
Does anyone have anything relevant here? We can't give you documents that have not been approved. We
Yeah, I
can't.
was just looking for the reports that you guys are talking about, because.
Well, they're not just reports, I mean, there's documents on it.
Well, you don't really explain anything, you're like, do you approve this or not approve it, then you get an
Yeah.
approval, but we really don't know, which means we have to file a FOIA request to see what actually is going on.
When you
And
get to provide
sometimes-
the specifications during the meeting, it might make the meeting a little bit longer. but-
During that meeting, you have no input on that anyway.
Oh, no, that's what
So
this
after the
public,
meeting,
this
you
is
see
what
what
this
I'm saying?
public comments are for, that's why I'm just asking for it.
And you can
Legally,
request
you
those
just
records.
sit there and listen to me and not go back and forth to banner, that's the legality of it.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do, but you keep saying the same thing.
All we want is a report of what you're talking about.
All you gotta do is fill out a request.
I have.
You filled out a report that you didn't get, a request for a
I'll
report you
bring the
didn't get.
FOIA reports that I filed.
I'm sorry?
I'll bring the FOIA requests that I filed.
Yeah, just make a formal request for that.
All that?
We'll get it to you, soon as it's approved document.
Ooh.
It has to be voted on by this council. We'll get it to you. Yes,
What about the golf cart situation?
the what?
The golf cart situation. They're driving around, which is impeding the flow of traffic.
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to come up, I couldn't hear you.
What about the golf cart situation? So we're just gonna let it roll around slowly? That impedes the flow of traffic.
A little bit.
The golf cart?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what is your?
They shouldn't be allowed on the road unless you have a medical issue that causes you not to walk, or you're old enough. You can either walk or ride a bike.
Fair.
The council voted to have a golf cart ordinance that allows golf carts that are licensed and is a true golf cart to be on the road.
Is, pardon me, is there an age limit? Because I
16, you have to have a driver's license.
It's
Well,
creepy too, honestly.
then perhaps they need to be a little bit more careful, because I could have very easily hit numerous children who just pull out side streets without even looking when I have the right of way.
And also, like, per your golf cart ordinance, you're only allowed from, dawn till dusk, and we have active council members who like to drive them around, park out here during council meetings or tourism meetings, or drive them around after dusk.
Of course, actually, that,
Council members that do this.
are you finished on that?
He
Actually, that
said, yeah.
statute has changed. And it's not any longer.
And it's not on your American Legal Publishing.
Please don't interrupt me again. I won't interrupt you if you don't interrupt me. The statute, it doesn't say anything about our ordinance. I said statute. The statute has changed. We have not reflected that change in our ordinance. You are correct. We have not reflected that change, and we need to. But yes, I agree with you. I see golf carts a lot of times, I think, being driven somewhat erratically, but most of them do a pretty good job. But they have to stay in a speed limit that's less than 35 miles an hour. But I have seen kids on bicycles being extremely erratic too.
True. I'm not gonna lie.
So, I mean,
Yeah,
I've also
still.
seen people on golf carts that know not to drive on sidewalks. that are on sidewalks.
They're on the sidewalk,
Oh, yeah.
on the golf cart?
Yep.
Oh, I hadn't seen
I
that.
didn't think that.
Yeah, that doesn't need to be happening at all.
I'm gonna break this wall here, cause I know, I can walk out, walk
Yeah.
around going.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I should, and I
I have a
don't.
question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I live on 126.
Uh-huh.
That's a one-way street, right?
I'm what?
That's a one-way street. The only one-way street in Auburn is 126 First Street.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, when y'all have y'all's town, get together, whatever, okay, is it fine to go on the wrong way of one-way street, correct?
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand what you were saying.
Okay. It is fine to go on the wrong way of one-way street, correct?
Is there a fine for it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the police officer said.
Okay,
it's fine.
all right, when y'all have y'all block off the park over here, Pearl Street is blocked off. I can't even get to my house unless I go the wrong way on a one-way street. He'll come over and give me a ticket. I shouldn't have to pay that because it's y'all's festival. I have no way to get to my house. No way to get to my house.
Can I comment on this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, there's actually two outlets.
One outlet to my house.
The only time this street is blocked, there's only like 2 events.
Yeah.
The big event, we do the dog days, then if we have a parade, that is the only time the street is blocked. You can still get to both alleys. They will
I can only get
access
to one outlet, and that's behind Brian's Club.
There's one on this side too, if you go down next to the fire court.
No,
if
because you cannot do that
But if you don't want
because
to contact me, if you can't get to your house.
you cannot do that because the football is already blocked. They blocked that alleyway. There's a record here, it blocks it off every morning. Between time they open up to 2 p.m., that alleyway is blocked. I cannot get nowhere.
There's no events, it's happening at 8 a.m.
Would you like
But
us to
if
stop
football's
having
open, they're
on the
blocked.
square? Would you like us to stop having events on the square?
I don't care what you do. I don't know.
If you're
I'm
working
just
on
saying,
it twice a-
okay,
You want us to stop having events on the square?
that ain't what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. That is not what I'm saying. Okay.
Okay, well, that's what you're complaining about right now.
No, I'm not complaining.
Can't
You
get to
misunderstood.
can't get to your house without going.
You're right, I cannot.
Going out through alleys twice a year.
When you block off Pearl Street, it's a one-way street, he comes up and gives me a ticket.
Do you think he's gonna do that when there's a special event going on?
Ask him.
I just told you, you can
Has
contact
he
me.
written you a ticket?
Not yet.
You gonna work?
Has he written you a ticket?
Not yet, but he could. I'm saying he could.
He has.
He's all for
If it comes up to your home, Gary, and block the street, and always make events somewhere
He
else.
won't do it.
That's maybe he's saying. I'm just saying, I'm trying to cover me.
Yeah, I appreciate it. He hasn't written you a ticket yet though,
I'm trying to cover me.
right? I'm sorry.
I'm trying to cover me.
Yep, there you go. I appreciate that.
That's what I'm saying.
Anybody else have anything?
All right, brother.
Huh? Y'all good?
I have a comment.
Yes.
I do not like how the trees were topped. Except like they were butchered and you should not trim a tree like that by the power line. There's proper ways to do it and it's terrible.
Those are, of course, it's only an AT&T fiber line across the top. It's not really power. But the reason they were cut that way, they're Bradford patterns. And any wind at all, we've lost a bunch of limbs in the last year or two off those trees, and over here on the square too. And I'd like to keep them around for a little while longer. They've been there since about the late mid-70s. Alfred Bennett planted them. And I can remember because I helped him plant them. And I'd like to see them stay. And that's the reason we're trying to keep the wind from whipping them so bad.
Well, have you thought about replanting something else?
I'm sorry?
Have you thought about replanting something else?
They make a hybrid now that is very, very durable. It's a Cleveland pear is what they call it. And it's very durable. We planted some at the park, some of those dwarf trees at the park, Cleveland pears. And they do a wonderful job. There's other good hybrids that don't shed limbs or break it near as bad. And I think you're right. As we replace them, we replace them with something that is not as brittle, right? But I don't, if it's any consolation, I don't like them here, but next year they'll look better. But they'll look a little better.
Who's responsible for those old Bradford fairs? Is it the state or is it the city? Because we always hear about this as state road, But you just said that, well.
You're exactly right. It's a state road, but they don't want anything to do with sidewalks or trees. They'll say, well, you know, if you really need us to take care of that, we'd rather cut it down.
Because if you go, if
You don't
you're
want to cut
out,
it down.
Not too far down.
We don't want to cut it down.
if you're going out towards my house, when you get past right where to see what holes are, there's like 2 big ass trees that are dead where the limbs keep dropping.
Yeah.
Which is even been cleaned up by city workers during, you know, windstorms.
Yeah.
Who takes those down?
If they're on the right.
Tell the city.
Are they on the right way of the state? The state doesn't come over very far. They tell me that none of those trees,
What's the easement on the state?
the state back.
I would say 8 feet. I would say 8 feet or less.
Different, it's different for different streets. But out where you're talking about, I think it's out, like where that blue hole is on each side, where it
Yeah.
goes past the Rector Admiral. I've seen those trees. They're off the state right of way. The tree trunk, they go to the trunk, and it's off the state. They only come over about 6 feet, maybe.
So if you're saying it's on the state, but now it belongs to the city.
The city doesn't own this. I can't even put a sign up out here without their permission.
So if it's not the state, it's not the city, it's up on the homeowner.
Those trees he's talking about, yes, they're on private property, yes, that's correct. Now, up here, we're responsible for them, and we took care of it, but the state's just gonna cut them down, I couldn't stand it. Look, we don't want them cut down, you know, but, so.
I mean, if you could like trim a few of those branches on those roads going to my house, it'd be great. They're gonna come back.
Yeah, oh yeah, they'll come back.
Because you can go see which ones are dead as soon as fall.
Now, we did cut a few trees around town that's on the city streets right of ways that were grown out into the blacktop in a few areas. Peterson Avenues, there's 3 that we cut out there that actually were the big trunks this big, like next to
That's
the
fair,
asphalt.
that's fair. You just get it out
We
the
got
way.
rid of 3 out
Yeah,
there.
that's fair, but you just get it out the way.
One where Rogers Drive turns off of Wilson was right in, actually the asphalt was out around it.
Yeah.
And I mean, just places like that, you know, that's obvious, you know, it's our responsibility to get them away from the
As
side.
long as they're out the way, that's all. As long as they're out the way, that's done.
We've done that in several areas. But yeah, I usually try to go when I get the state land, I try to figure out if it's on us, on the state, who it's on. And we try to be a partner with the state. We try to be a good partner. But their theory is, you know, if it needs to go, just cut it down, get it off the edge of the road. You know. Railroad, same way.
I got a question. So, is there really gonna be a liquor store over here? Like a whole liquor store?
I'm sorry.
A liquor store right here? What happened to the, there was a food thing over here? Right here.
It's a liquor store.
What happened?
They opened about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's just a liquor store? Okay, I've seen the sign, but I wasn't sure if that really was gonna happen.
He opened a nice store, it's really nice in there. He's
What happened? Was it
building
too
up a lot.
expensive or what? Because I didn't get to eat over there, and I was like,
So those are closed for about 2 years.
really?
Yeah.
But at least like last year, or at least, you know.
Next bargain would be on anyway.
It was like, I don't know, it had barbecue. I didn't get to eat there before it disappeared. It was very expensive. I tried to save the money to eat there, but it was gone, and all of a sudden there was a sign right there, so I didn't know if that was legit right there. It was gonna be. Really? Yeah. Sorry. But I wonder if these guys know the food that you had up there. At least.
Any other comments?
Really?
Hey, young man, I agree with you on the golf carts. We've got some issues. I agree with that. We'll try to address it. Any other public comments?
Just bring the ducks, that's all.
We've got someone with Leadership Logan here with us tonight.
That's all.
I'd like to recognize him. He's coming through the Leadership Logan class. Asked him to go to some governmental meetings, I believe. I'd like to introduce yourself. And that way, for the record, they'll know you're here.
I'm Travis Simon.
Travis, it's nice to have you with us tonight, and thank you for being here. Appreciate your interest in government. And we've got a lot of things that people don't understand we have to deal with, and some things we talked about tonight, right? You know, so appreciate that. Is there any other questions from the council or the public? We're good? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed, like sign. The ayes have it. Thank you all for being here.